Hi, Ian here once again. This week I'm going to discuss the revival of gaming in the wake of the Great Crash of '83. I'll start with PC gaming. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, personal computers were evolving right alongside home video game consoles. However, PC gaming was not only able to survive, but thrive in the years following the crash of '83. And this had a lot to do with PCs being relatively inexpensive. As personal computers became better over time, they also became more affordable, to the point where they were undercutting home video game consoles by a significant margin. By the time the crash happened, gamers had a hard time justifying a new console purchase when they could instead get a PC, which served other purposes besides gaming, for a cheaper price. Thus, as home consoles were becoming less and less an appealing option, PCs were becoming more appealing. The PC certainly kept gaming alive long enough for Nintendo to revitalize the home console market in America, which brings me to my next point of discussion, Shigeru Miyamoto. In the 80s, Miyamoto was the most important game designer at Nintendo's disposal. He is responsible for creating virtually all of Nintendo's iconic franchises. Most importantly, though, he created Super Mario Bros. For the NES, one of the best-selling video games of all time, and the game that pretty much every single gamer grew up playing. That game alone was key to getting Americans interested in console gaming again when the NES hit American shores in 1985. From there, Nintendo's success continued into the early 90s with the 16-bit Super Nintendo, although by this point they were facing greater competition from Sega, who had launched their own 16-bit console, the Genesis, roughly 2 years before Nintendo's. Ultimately, though, the war of the 16-bit consoles would be ended by Sony in 1995, which brings me to my final talking point, the PlayStation. The 32-bit PlayStation basically rendered the 16-bit console war moot by ushering in the era of 3D gaming. It was the first true 3D console thanks to two key innovations. First, it utilized CDs instead of cartridges, giving game developers the memory needed to render 3D environments with ease. And second, it introduced the analog stick, giving gamers the precision needed to move through those 3D environments. These innovations helped the PlayStation take the gaming world by storm and brought Sony's competitors into the 3D age of gaming. Okay, that's all for this week's video. Until next time.